Welcome back to Living Survival in the winter wonderland of Michigan. 6 to 8 inches of snow and about 20 degrees outside. A perfect day to show you my winter camping hammock setup, including a new top quilt that I got from Underground Quilts. So let's take a look at my winter hammock setup, starting right off the bat with the winter dream tarp that I previously reviewed from Underground Quilts. Awesome tarp. It's got the doors on the side so it keeps the wind out, keeps the snow out. As you can see, I'm getting some buildup, but it does mostly just shed right down the sides of the tarp. As we looked at in my previous video, you get a lot of quality out of this tarp, and I love the fact that I can just snap up the sides here, keeping that wind out, keeping the weather out, and my hammock can just run right out the top. So the key to staying comfortable in the cold weather is not only to have a tarp that provides you shelter from that wind and blowing snow, but also a top and bottom quilt. Now I go with strictly down top and bottom quilts. They stuff down super small and they're very comfortable once you get them set up. For the top quilt, I went with a 20 degree. Now this is from Underground Quilts, the same company that made the tarp. They make great products and they're made right here in Michigan. With a top and bottom quilt system, you essentially get the same benefit that you do out of a sleeping bag. However, if you were to use just a sleeping bag, you would compress that material, whether synthetic or down, below you, and it wouldn't create any airspace. Therefore, it wouldn't create any heat. Underquilts are designed to hang below the hammock, trapping that air in there and retaining the loft, so therefore you retain the heat. Now, since you have this on the underside or for, your back side, you really only need a top quilt. You don't need a full-blown sleeping bag because, again, all that insulation underneath you is going to be lost. So these top quilts are really nice. This is the Bandit from Underground Quilts. Just got this. It's a 20 degree. Again, you can get these in different temperature ratings. This one has a taper at the bottom, so it's a little bit wider at the shoulders. You can get these in different widths, different lengths, and what you essentially do is you stick your feet here in the foot box, and then you just wrap this around as if you were using this as a sleeping bag. So this part actually goes on the top of you, the cut part goes underneath you, and so that you get sort of double protection there, but that way you're not losing any loft and you stay nice and warm, nice and comfortable. On the ground, I would typically have a tarp or some sort of mat that I would take my clothing off, take my boots or shoes off. I typically only sleep in long underwear or just boxers most of the time in my hammock setup. It's that warm, and that's how I'm most comfortable. Some people will sleep fully clothed. I just can't do it. I want to be more comfortable than that, so it's long johns for me. So because you have the foot box, top quilts are much easier to get in a hammock than a sleeping bag. So I simply just climb in. I'm just going to slide my feet into the tapered end that is sewn on the top quilt. And then really all I have to do, make sure my bottom quilt comes up to about my shoulders. And I can take my top quilt and just wrap it right around me. And in no time, I'm gonna be super warm, even though it's really cold outside. Again, the Bandit is made in Michigan. You can get different fill powers of 800, 850, and 950 of their downfill. Different temp ratings, 50 degrees, 40 degrees, 30 degrees, 20 degrees, 10 degrees, and 0 degrees. You can get them in 50-inch or 55-inch wide, in different lengths of 66, 72, 78, and 84. So there's definitely a configuration for everyone. You can also pick a different inner shell color as well as an outer shell color. Obviously with this, I went with the orange on the outside and went with the black on the inside. Now there also is a draft collar here that you can put around your neck. You can cinch this down so that you don't lose any air. Again, you're just going to tuck the sides of this. We can take a look at the foot box here. Now it is tapered. There is a few buttons there, making it super easy to just stick your feet in. Now, unlike a sleeping bag, this does not have any zips that go all the way up. You're simply just going to put this on the top and roll it around the sides. Again, your bottom quilt is going to provide that warmth on the bottom and the top quilt on the top. Now, a setup like this isn't the most budget friendly, but if you're gonna do any cold weather camping, a system like this will pay you back, being comfortable and, most importantly, warm in those colder months. If you're looking for a high quality down-filled quilt, a top quilt or a bottom quilt, check out the quilts from Underground Quilts, made right here in Michigan. Down is the way to go as far as I'm concerned when it comes to hiking and backpacking or even camping with a hammock setup. I prefer the down quilts much more so over the synthetic quilts. They're comfortable, they work great, and when you get a high quality one from someone like Underground Quilts, you're not going to have any problem staying warm. You can get several different temperature ratings and several different fill powers. It's all on their website. Tons of different options, which of course is going to make the price vary, but they start down at about $130. So go ahead and check that out. I'm going to leave a link below to them in the description. A lot of times people start out with cheap setups and they get frustrated and they just don't go back to hammock camping. But when you have the gear that you need to survive a night out in the cold, such as we have here, going with the right gear is going to make you much more comfortable. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please give it a big thumbs up for me. Leave me a comment what you think below in the comment section. Please share this video to your friends and family on your social media. If you haven't already done so, click that red subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of new videos.